Ukraine plans to produce 2 million drones this year and at least 4 million next year, with allied nations initiating joint ventures. This week, Russia captured Vuhledar, a strategic location on the border between Donetsk and Zaporizhia, after an 18-month effort to gain control of the town. Vuhledar's elevated position near a key railway line, which transports supplies from Russia-occupied Crimea, restricts Ukraine's capacity to disrupt Russian supply lines. Control of Vuhledar, along with the adjacent H-15 highway, would enhance Russia's attempts to breach Ukraine's essential defenses in western Donetsk Oblast, according to the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, a Washington, D.C.-based think tank. Although Ukrainian forces successfully pushed back Russian positions by 75 kilometers in a counterattack last year, that progress is now at risk. In response to the loss of Vuhledar, Ukrainian military commander-in-chief Oleksandr Syrsky has mandated increased defensive measures in Donetsk. Despite Russia's capture of Vuhledar, ISW suggests that this may not significantly alter the operational landscape in western Donetsk Oblast, indicating that Russian forces continue to face challenges in fulfilling their campaign objectives. Russia has encountered difficulties in making substantial progress along its eastern front. Following the capture of Avdiivka in February, it advanced 35 kilometers west towards Pokrovsk, but Ukrainian counterattacks at Kursk in August halted this advance, leaving them 10 kilometers short of their goal. Approximately 50 kilometers northeast of the Pokrovsk front, Russian forces targeted Chasiv Yar throughout the summer, securing only an eastern suburb. Additionally, about 40 kilometers northeast of Chasiv Yar, Russian forces attempted to capture Siversk but were unsuccessful. About 90 kilometers north of Siversk, in Kharkiv, Russia conducted a battalion-sized attack on Kupiansk on September 26th, deploying 50 armored vehicles and tanks. However, Ukrainian forces repelled this attack, inflicting damage and destroying 40 Russian tanks. While Ukrainian defenses have withstood superior Russian firepower to some extent, Ukrainian forces have made incremental territorial gains this year, reclaiming over 800 kilometers. However, these victories have incurred significant costs. The Ukrainian armed forces reported that 9,290 Russian troops were killed or wounded between September 22nd and 29th, averaging over 1,300 per day, a trend that has escalated over the past year. Russia also reportedly lost 101 tanks and 254 armored fighting vehicles. According to ISW, Russian forces are struggling with manpower and resources and are unable to sustain intensified offensive operations indefinitely. Ukraine has indicated that it has substantially diminished Russia's firepower advantage this year, increasing the pressure on Moscow's manpower. Deputy Defense Minister Ivan Havrilyuk remarked at a charity fundraising event on Tuesday, the rate of artillery shell use on the battlefield has decreased compared to the winter of 2024. Previously, the ratio was 1:8. Now it has decreased to 1:3. This assessment aligns with statements made by Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky and President Volodymyr Zelensky last month, who noted that Russia had fired 2 Bauer-5 artillery shells for everyone from Ukraine. President Zelensky attributed this change to the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Kursk region on August 6th. Several other factors have contributed to the current situation. Ukraine faced challenges in accessing artillery shells during the winter of 2023-2024 due to delays in military aid from Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives. However, aid began to flow again in May, and on September 26th, U.S. President Joe Biden confirmed that the budget would be released before the year's end. I have directed the Department of Defense to release all remaining security assistance to Ukraine before the end of my term, he emphasized during President Zelensky's visit to the White House. This includes $5 billion from existing reserve drawdown authorities and $4 billion from the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, USAI, for new weapons acquisitions. Ukraine's defense industry is playing a pivotal role in the ongoing conflict. This year, Kiev commenced the domestic production of 155mm artillery shells, with Minister of Strategic Industries Herman Smetanin announcing that Ukraine is set to produce more shells than any other nation. According to Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal, Ukraine's defense industry tripled in size last year and has doubled in the first 8 months of this year. An additional factor influencing the balance of artillery power is Ukraine's effectiveness in neutralizing Russian ammunition and artillery supplies. Ukraine has successfully targeted Russian logistics and ammunition facilities using domestically produced drones, reportedly destroying approximately 32,000 tons of ammunition in recent attacks on sites in Russia's Tver and Krasnodar Krai regions. On Sunday, the Ukrainian General Staff reported an attack on an ammunition depot in Kotluban, Volgograd region. However, satellite imagery from NASA indicated explosions occurring outside the facility. Furthermore, Ukrainian officials have highlighted a significant personnel shortage within Russian forces. During a broadcast on Tuesday, Navy spokesman Dmytro Pletenchuk noted that some Russian sailors have been observed serving in infantry roles, suggesting a deterioration in their personnel situation, as such personnel require extensive training. Ukraine's allies have unveiled new military aid packages, signaling an increasingly robust military-economic partnership. On Sunday, Ukraine and Denmark signed a defense cooperation agreement under a new financing model, with Denmark committing to invest €175 million, approximately $190 million, in Ukraine's arms industry, supplemented by an anticipated €400 million, $440 million, derived from frozen Russian assets. This funding aims to enhance the development of attack drones, anti-tank mines, and missiles. On Tuesday, the Franco-German defense group KNDS announced the establishment of a subsidiary in Kiev focused on the repair and maintenance of Leopard tanks, Caesar artillery, Gepard anti-aircraft guns, PZH-2000 howitzers, and other systems. This initiative aims to reduce maintenance times and increase the availability of combat vehicles, with further collaboration anticipated with Ukrainian industries for the production of 155mm guns. Additionally, on Saturday, the Netherlands delivered the first 8 F-16s to Ukraine, adding to 6 acquired from Denmark, albeit one of which has been lost in combat. Ukraine asserts that it requires a minimum of 130 fighter aircraft to fulfill its operational requirements. Ukraine is actively pursuing further investment from its Western allies. Defense Minister Rustem Umerov noted that the country has allocated $4 billion to defense procurement this year, while Prime Minister Shmyhal projected an increase in the domestic weapons budget to $7 billion next year. In the realm of unmanned systems, Ukraine possesses superior manufacturing and tactical expertise compared to Russia, having produced 1.5 million drones this year, with a goal of reaching 2 million, while Russia plans to produce 4 million. Ukraine has the capacity to produce up to 4 million drones annually. Moreover, Ukraine has compensated for its artillery shortcomings by deploying small drones to accurately drop grenades and other munitions on Russian targets. On Wednesday, the 2nd Mechanized Battalion of the Presidential Brigade unveiled the TG-90, a 2-kilogram bomb designed for drone deployment against structures. Conversely, Russia is also investing significantly in its defense industrial base. On Tuesday, the State Duma considered a draft federal budget for 2025, proposing 13.5 trillion rubles, $141, $7 billion for defense, and an additional 3.5 trillion rubles, $36, $8 billion for national security. This allocation indicates that 41% of Russia's budget will be devoted to defense and security, while sectors such as health and education will receive less than $70 billion. Some analysts contend that, despite Russia's substantial investment in the war effort, these resources have yet to yield tangible progress on the battlefield.